This is McCook's Mr. Bill. It's an honor to have you here. And it's Christmas time. That means some of you are going to be spending some money and buying gifts for family and friends. Okay. But don't buy something that's going to get you in between a rock and a hard place. And it can happen. A great example. Now I have a gas-powered BB rifle. I put extra orange on it so the cops will know that it's not a firearm, because it does have kind of a look and it's hard to tell if you're any distance away. With that in mind though, it's a BB gun. I said a BB gun. And so, with that in mind, a young person was given a BB gun for Christmas from his folks. And he told me the story that he had set up boxes next to the garage, their garage, in their yard, and he was shooting. And along come the cops because a neighbor had turned him in. You can hear a BB gun maybe 50 yards away at the furthest distance. And so the cops wrote him up. He was ticketed, $200 fine that he had to pay. But it didn't end there. He did get a criminal record that would be with him for the rest of his life, that he had a gun violation. It was a BB gun, but a gun violation. And so that is not a good thing. You don't want anything like that whatsoever on your record, and it can never go away. And so he also lost the BB gun. His folks took that away from him. So because of that, you want to think long and hard of what you're doing. An alternative, if your child wants to shoot something, is to consider soft air. I put extra orange to make sure cops know it isn't real. But it shoots a plastic ball. It's a 6mm plastic ball. The maximum range out there is maybe 120 feet, 130. But within the first 10 yards, 30 feet, they zip out there at about, a little less than 200 feet per second. Still wouldn't do more than make a bruise on you. You could still lose an eye to one, so you always wear eye protection for you and anyone around. But for the cost, very inexpensive, less than a $10 bill, and ammunition's a penny a piece, I would suggest these over a BB gun, because most towns ignore these as for young people shooting at targets within their yard, as long as they're using any kind of common sense. They shouldn't have any trouble. Check laws and regulations, and even before your child shoots, I'd go around to the neighbors and tell them what's going on and show them the gun and what it's all about, so that you keep your neighborhood calm. I would like to see all the neighbors, before you turn somebody in, to go check it out yourself. Check it out yourself, so that you might be able to understand what's going on and either correct what you think is a problem, or if it's not a problem, you didn't have to call the cops and get maybe somebody a criminal record for the rest of their life. I would take the next step. If maybe you want to buy a kid a fishing pole. A lot of people buy them a cane pole to start kids out with. This is my 10-footer. I caught a 4-pound carp this last year with this little bad boy. 10-foot cane pole. Be that as it may, whatever kind of fishing pole you might want to buy a child for a Christmas present, for an example, I would give this warning. Kid got, again, a fishing pole for Christmas. Went out and he was fishing. He caught a fish, first time he'd ever went out, 9-year-old boy. And here came the game warden and said, I'm going to measure that fish. Measured it. It was a ½ inch too short for the species of fish that little boy had caught, and he didn't know any different. Be that as it may, the boy was fined $300 and given an animal game violation on his record for the rest of his life because of that. See, things like that, you want to think ahead. If you're going to give a fishing pole or something, set them down and look at the local, state laws, and even lake-to-lake laws. It can be different because, again, a game warden will have no mercy for you. They're not your friend. They're not going to forgive you. So help your young people, or whoever you give things, make sure they understand the laws and the usages of them and the limitations therein, and safety features as well. Absolutely. The next one, and the last one I'll talk about, is a number of people buy their kids a bow. A lot less negativity with a bow than with a firearm. And yet it still teaches you elevation and windage, you bet. And it's an excellent learning tool and a great sport. I had a relative that won the 4-H state championship with a bow. She beat the boys because they were boys and girls together at that age, and she beat everybody. Very good with a bow. With that in mind, you still want to consider and understand that most towns forbid you and have it against the law to shoot a bow in town. You can't shoot a bow, but there's a limit. They said anything less than a 15-pound pull bow is a toy, and that is not in their laws and regulations then. If it's under 15 pounds, check your local laws and state laws first. But if it is, then you could still shoot that within town as long as you use some common sense, because a 15 pounds arrow won't go very far and a lot less dangerous. Still could cause injuries, so use common sense and have the parent around if at all possible, at least at the beginning, till they get the basics of a bow and arrow. This is just some of the things I'd like you to consider if you're going to buy something like this for Christmas for a loved one or a friend or a young person, just to keep you out of trouble. That's one of the major things Mr. Bill has done for 35 years on the streets of McCook, keeping the young people safe as I possibly could. Have a good day.